I guess we know exactly where the Fantastic Four landed at the end of their film in that post-credit scene. So let's just jump in and talk about it right now. Welcome back to Collard Greens and Nerdy Things, your favorite one-stop shop for all things nerdy. I am your host, King, and this is the greatest co-host in the multiverse, JC3. And today we are talking about the latest entry from the Avengers Doomsday teaser trailer drop. And this one is big. It's Wakanda and Fantastic Four. So let me just kick you off with a slight synopsis of what we saw in the video. So the video is quite short and it gives a nice short voiceover from Shuri. And in the video, she says, I've lost everything that matters to me. The king of Wakanda has his duties to prepare our people for the afterlife, and I have mine. And during those moments, we get to see some of the most awesome things. One, the return of Namora. Two, the return of Namor, Umbaku, and Ben Grimm, and of course, our Black Panther Shuri. So, Jay, kick it off. What were your thoughts? What things did you notice? What was your favorite parts? Let's get into all of it.
Well, man, like as soon as I saw Shuri pop up on that screen, I thought, man, it's really been like damn near 4 years since we seen that character like in any iteration since her movie. So it was really good to see her. Of course, with these teasers, it has like the same like somber tone as the other ones that we've gotten. Like we know that something's coming. We know that all these people that we've been seeing in these teasers, they are getting prepared for a battle, and that's exactly what we get here. As you just said, we hear Shuri narrate that she's lost everyone. She's lost her mother, her brother, but she still has duties as the queen of Wakanda. And Namor still has his duties as king. And I think in this teaser, we see them starting to come together more than they were in the second movie to prepare themselves for the oncoming Doomsday. This trailer gave us exactly what the other ones have in regards of tension, worry, but we also got a bit of levity as well with the return of Ben Grimm, and seeing his interaction with the Wakandans just makes me think like how like where are they? You know, how do they end up there? Because we still don't know how the Fantastic Four end up in our universe. So I guess this teaser also shows us that at least the thing is with Shuri and M'Baku, and that just makes me curious of how this team up is actually going to go. Uh, we got a threat coming, and the Fantastic Four and the Wakandans, a pair that I never thought of, but it's a pair that I'm very intrigued to see.
Absolutely, man. There was some things that happened in that interaction that I had to kind of rewind a couple times because something big happened off screen. Umbaku introduces himself. He says, I'm Umbaku, the king of Wakanda. And Ben, because he's Ben Grimm, says, I'm Ben Grimm from Yancey Street in between Broome and Grand. Broome and Grand are the streets he's in between on Yancey. But the biggest thing that came out of that was there was a slight scene in Wakanda Forever where Shuri was busy and Umbaku showed up at the waterfalls to lay claim to being the king through combat. And he had mentioned kind of throwaway comment that Shuri wasn't going to join them and he was going to assert himself to the throne if anybody wanted to challenge him. And then that went off screen. So presumably off screen, Umbaku has become the king of Wakanda. So when I look back at her words, it kind of changes the narrative, right? She's saying that he has the duty to prepare them for war, and she as the Black Panther has a different duty. And it's so interesting because if it's a lot of context that happened off screen that we don't see. But one thing I did notice as well was those new suits. They've got a bit of blue in them, a little more gold. Mbaku's got this dope armor for the Jabari, and she's got this brand new Black Panther suit, as well as Namor. He wasn't wearing his big earrings, but now he's got a beard, and he was above ground in the desert. So I'm assuming this is probably somewhere in Africa where the desert meets the waters, maybe an old ruin, because it looked like Namor was sitting at a ruin of some sort. And I'm sure that when the Fantastic Four hit our universe, we might have seen the new Avengers notice them, but they might have flown across the world through the atmosphere and landed in Wakanda. And I think that might be what we're seeing. And who knows whether the rest of the Fantastic Four are in that ship, or could Doom be with them? Doom, they could have brought Doom with them, unknowing that he's actually a bad guy. Because the last time we seen them, he was talking to Franklin. So the pieces of the puzzle are coming together, but it's such a short 1 minute segment that I don't know exactly where we're gonna go, but I'm excited.
Oh, definitely. Me too, King. Like I tell you, after Namor, not Namor, sorry, after M'Baku got his armor completely destroyed by Namor in the second Wakanda movie, I felt good seeing that he had the new joints on, the new kicks, So like the armor looked great for both him and Shuri and Namor. Can't wait to see what more technological advancements that we see in this movie, considering that's what Wakanda is all about. Also, we could have the possibility that Doom might have took Franklin, and maybe the Fantastic Four went to chase after him, and somehow they landed in Wakanda. Maybe both Doom and them landed in Wakanda, and that will make sense as well because we all know that Doom does have ties to Wakandans as well. So I am very intrigued to see how that goes. But man, these teasers they got me hyped for this movie, and for all we know, this might be the last one we get until the actual trailer.
Yeah, these teasers have just given us just enough to tell us, man, there's going to be some dope stuff happening in this film, but it also leaves so many questions for us internet sleuths to kind of dig through. And something the Russo brothers said is, they said recently today that these aren't trailers, these aren't teasers, these are little roadmaps, these are little breadcrumbs. And if we're paying attention, they are the clues that are going to be given to us for what would happen in Doomsday, giving us some context of what we're led up to. Some of the idea that I would, I guess, question, or some of the thought is Namor and the Wakandans came to a peace agreement with their two countries that are kind of hidden, and they both have vibranium. So, since the last time that we've seen them, has there been any cultural exchange? Have they shared ideas, shared weaponry? Are they preparing themselves together against the outside world, the conquerors and invaders, as the way that both cultures see outside people? And you brought a good idea to mind. When we saw Doom last with the Fantastic Four, they could have ended up in a skirmish, in a fight, and Doom could have took off with Franklin. And there was some kind of, dog and cat race all the way to our universe that landed them further away than we expected. So there's a lot of variables that are left out. And I think we've got a couple more. I'd love to see what's next for the new Avengers, what's next for the actual Avengers, Sam Wilson and that team, and where a couple of the other characters stand as we go into this film. Spider Man, Doctor Strange. It's everything is up for grabs, and I'm really excited to see what's going to happen next.
Same here, brother. Out of everybody that you just mentioned, number one person that I need to see just to complete this, this arc that we've been on with these teasers and these trailers, give us Doom. Give us a glimpse of Doom. Let's just see. Let's see Robert Downey Jr. in action. Let's see what's made this guy such a big threat. Let's see why this villain has possibly earned a 3 hour and 45 minute runtime. Like let's see a bit of the threat. So by the time next December gets here, we are ready to experience Doomsday.
It's funny, I've read a lot of, different theories and ideas, and one that I kind of like, and I think goes through my head as well, is that Doom will inevitably show himself to be a friendly person and someone who has the same things in mind. And maybe he is the person who is telling them that the worlds are colliding and the incursions are happening. And they befriend him, not knowing, because they don't know him, that he's actually got his own machinations. And one of those ideas was that he would end up, just like we saw in the trailer, but he's actually in that ship. and we'll convince them all to go to the X-Men universe because we need to get Monica Rambeau. But what he really wants is the Sentinels Cerebro and the power that is in the X-Men universe. So Doom could be doing a whole lot of stuff. There's a lot of speculation. I think this was my favorite trailer overall. I think the X-Men ones was my second favorite, but here on the channel, we loved the Fantastic Four when that movie came out, and huge fans of Wakanda and the Black Panther series. So this is easily my favorite, and I'm excited to see what's next, man. What are kind of your final thoughts? And take us on out, brother.
Well, man, my final thoughts are these teasers have been great so far. Again, I enjoyed Shuri back, Namor, getting a little cameo of the Thing. It was amazing. We have we officially have a clock like counting down now, towards Doomsday. It's going to be going all the way until December 18th. And apparently there are thousands of fans that are just looking at that countdown. And that's a very good way to push this movie that's coming out, to build up hype for it. And I truly believe that by the time that clock reaches zero, we will be ready for Doomsday. But I'm excited. I can't wait for it. Those are my final thoughts on it. But we want to thank you all for joining us along this ride. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe our content. And my question to all you nerds out there is, will we have a new Black Panther by the end of Doomsday? Like, share, subscribe, and as always, stay nerdy, my friends.